What's good, everyone? This your main correspondent, Alan Taylor, and I'm back in the broadcast room yet again, always with another one. And yes, indeed, it is another one. So this is where we are now. So this is the thing here. Tiffany Henyard is on her way out the door. I mean, let's just keep this honest here, man. She's been causing a lot of strife to the people of the township and Dalton for quite some time now. All the scandals and stuff like that. Now, we're going to dive off into it and we're going to see what's going on here. I got three different angles. So, yes, let's go here now, people. Quarters, nickels, and dimes.
Breaking news tonight.
Oh, my bad. Hold on. Let's see. Let's go here now.
Breaking news tonight from suburban Thornton Township. More drama for embattled supervisor Tiffany Henyard.
And WGN's Jenna Barnes is live in Homewood with more details for us right now. Jenna.
Ray and Micah, we were promised a raucous caucus, and indeed, that is what we witnessed. Thornton Township Supervisor Tiffany Henyard, who was appointed to that position tonight, lost her bid for the Democratic Party's nomination in this rarely used political process. It now appears if she wants to run for supervisor again, it will have to be as a write-in candidate. That is the sound of an auditorium full of Tiffany Henyard opponents rejecting her nomination for Thornton Township Supervisor in the party's first township caucus in decades.
You ain't let the people be heard.
As she protested the process, arguing her supporters were still waiting to be let inside.
Guys, have a good night, eat the food, and be merry. This meeting is adjourned.
The meeting lasted only moments, but it was strategized beforehand. State Senator Napoleon Harris is the Democratic committeeman for Thornton Township. He alone decides whether to hold a primary election or a caucus. Amid the turmoil tied to embattled Supervisor Henyard, Harris chose a caucus and won the nomination.
Democratic nominee for supervisor is Napoleon Harris.
Henyard walked out of the meeting and into a waiting SUV without speaking to us, but here's what she said before the caucus began.
They can't beat me. If they could beat me, they would have went to the polls.
What do you do tonight if you don't get the Democratic Party's nomination?
What do you mean? I will be victorious tonight. You will see. My people are here. They're not going to go nowhere. The show will go on.
Her allies now figuring out their next steps.
This is the biggest. This is a fraud.
To fight the result.
This is criminal. I would easily say hundreds of people that were not allowed in to be a part of the process.
And we did hear quite a few complaints tonight that Henyard opponents were allowed inside before her supporters. We know there was an event going on before the caucus began. Napoleon Harris's attorney told me that was a Democratic Party fundraiser, although Harris himself said it was not a fundraiser. So that's something that will certainly be examined in the coming days. I am told, though, that those people who were let in had their IDs checked to make sure that they were registered Democratic voters who live in Thornton Township. We're live in home.
Okay, so wow. Hey, you know what? it's all tricks in the game with this whole situation. It's all tricks in the game. Them people felt like they had to pull this move in order to get Tiffany up out of there. But at the same time, though, too, it is kind of it is a little bit shady now. Let's just keep this real here, too, because at the end of the day now, they hadn't held a caucus in God knows how long in that specific area, and then just to pop up one now. So, all right, let's keep going. Let's check this one out.
Seems to be over for Thornton Township Supervisor Tiffany Henyard in her petition for re-election. She was defeated in a bid to be Democratic Party nominee in a rare and pretty chaotic caucus last night.
Yep, Marissa Perlman joins us live now in the studio, breaking down what's happening over this whole ballot battle, Marissa.
Oh, what a night, guys. Let's start there. This is actually the first caucus that Thornton Township has actually seen in nearly 30 years. And Tiffany Henyard's path to keep her job, well, just got a bit more difficult. This was a big room packed full of 600 people at the Homewood Flossmoor Park District. The Democratic Party caucus for the township made it official in just about 7 minutes flat by deciding to deny embattled current township supervisor Henyard's name from being on the ballot altogether in April. Now, Illinois State Senator Napoleon Harris will now be nominated as the Democratic challenger for the position. Henyard has faced criticism over township spending while also fighting with trustees. She used Thornton Township buses to transport her supporters to the meeting, mostly seniors, yet many didn't get inside the auditorium since it was too packed already. Henyard left the caucus fuming.
We didn't run out of this the right way. Illegal. Napoleon.
So those seeking the nomination for township supervisor needed all 8 people for their slate, which includes the supervisor, the highway director, the clerk, the assessor, and 4 trustees. Henyard didn't have a certified assessor on her ticket, deeming hers invalid.
This is a process that's been going on way before me, and it's just I'm exercising my rights as a committeeman to hold a caucus.
Now, Henyard's camp threatening legal action, but legally you can have a primary or you can have a caucus. That's how it works. And this was actually one of 5 caucuses that was held throughout the county last night. Here's what's next. Henyard can still run for Dalton mayor in that role, but in Thornton, she has one alternative. She can run as a write-in candidate. So we'll see what happens with that.
But people actually have to write her in.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah.
So we'll see if she has enough write-in names.
Okay.
Wow. So yeah, this is where we're at on that end. And this is the thing right here. Listen, look, man, those people pulled a move on her ass under the table. And, you know, it is what it is, man. Like, I get it. You know, they didn't, it's legal for them to do so. But at the same time, though, too, you know, I'm guessing they didn't let her know ahead enough time that they was going to do a caucus instead of a primary. So, yeah. It's kind of just they kind of just snuck that shit in on her, and it is what it is though. So she wasn't able to get her people up in there because the people that were actually going to vote against her had packed the place so heavily before she could get her people there. Man, all right, let's keep going.
We're learning more about last night's Democratic caucus in Thornton Township, which may result in Tiffany Henyard's name not being placed on the ballot for supervisor.
Nate Rogers has been following this story closely, joining us live now with the latest on what's happening. Nate?
Yeah, absolutely, guys. What a mess. I got to tell you, we've been speaking to attorneys all day long about yesterday's very chaotic caucus, Democratic caucus in Thornton Township. Attorneys representing Senator Napoleon Harris, who led the caucus, tell us that Henyard did not have a full slate, including a certified assessor. We also spoke to Henyard herself by phone today, and her attorney, they claimed that she was specifically targeted by caucus rules.
Napoleon Harris is a coward. He is a coward for not allowing the people to be heard.
Those rules eliminated any chances that Tiffany Henyard had, even if she had nominated anyone, even if she had nominated herself.
And take a look at your screen. Attorney Max Solomon is referencing this document right here, page 5 of caucus rules, saying supervisor candidates cannot already appear on the ballot for another office. Henyard is currently running for re-election as Dalton's mayor. Solomon says they did not receive caucus rules until the day of. Harris's attorney says they could have asked for the rules earlier. Now, yesterday's caucus was slated to start at 7 p.m., but Harris's supporters were pre-registered. They were allowed in earlier. The caucus lasted 7 minutes, with Harris being nominated as Thornton Township supervisor for the Democratic ticket. Fox 32 reached out to a non-partial election attorney and sent her the caucus rules. Here's more from attorney Carolyn Kaufner.
I have reviewed the caucus rules that they employed yesterday, and I know that they weren't followed because one of them requires everybody who's there, who's voting, to sign in and sign an affidavit attesting that they're qualified under the rules set forth by the election code and also by the caucus. I know there were people present there that didn't sign those affidavits who voted anyway, so that shows me there's a flaw. I know there were candidates for other offices who are not members of the Democratic Party who are running in this election as independent candidates for office in Thornton Township. I've heard they were present and participating. So what it sounds like is this was a little bit of a free-for-all.
And of course, you've guessed it, all of this will likely be settled in court, as Henyard says she does plan to pursue legal action. Now, coming up in my report at 5 o'clock, you definitely want to see it. You'll hear from Senator Napoleon Harris's attorney on their reaction from yesterday.
Okay, so it seemed like I said, it seemed like he snuck this shit in on her ass. You know, which at the end of the day, though, one lawyer saying one thing, the other lawyer saying that basically, basically this ain't right. He snuck the shit in. Man, this is crazy. But yeah, the whole situation behind Tiffany Henyard's township leadership and also with Dalton has been completely crazy the whole time. And I get both sides of the coin because yes, in one instance, they did kind of just force this situation to happen real quick as far as the caucus. But then on the other end, those people are really tired of Tiffany. It's crazy, but it's just the truth. They sick of her. They're sick of her games. They're sick of her using all the money for the wrong things. They sick of all the shit she done pulled, the crazy stuff. They also see what's going on over in Dalton with her. Like, it's a lot, so I can get it, but yeah, hopefully they figure that shit the fuck out, man. Because that's crazy though, the way it's going down. But like I said, though, I can kind of see how the people are and they tired of it. And I guess they think they have to do whatever they have to do, But it is what it is, though. Shout out to all my subscribers. Mad love to y'all. If you're new to the channel, please hit that like, share, subscribe button. Make sure you ring that bell to be notified whenever I decide to post things. And like I always say, that, my friends, is the bottom line.